ты.
Сундучок.
Not sure how I'd fare in a little place like this. Revelio.
Это ж теперь можно вообще не бояться.
Чего? Замков?
Да. Без разницы куда. И, наверное, здесь, скорее всего, есть маска.
Одна, да.
Поэтому я бы сразу на ночь переставил.
Выносим деревни.
Aloha Mora. Revelio.
Здрасте.
Здрасте.
Who lives here?
Я тут вас просто заберу кое-что.
Мы тут просто в гости чай попить. С вкусняшками.
У них не было вкусняшек. Даже. А вы чё?
Хана тебе, Ильнур.
Ты что, меня отчитываешь?
Да. Ты что, дурачок? Ты дурачок так делать? А!
Revelio.
Сундучок. Еще есть?
Знаешь, что хочу?
Что?
Автовзлом.
А,
Мы и так уже можем взламывать все, что угодно. Всегда сама взламывает.
Пусть игра сама в себя играет, а мы посмотрим просто.
Ну, это не.
Будем говорить ей, что делать.
Revelio.
О, нет.
Depulso.
Ой,
Взял все сломал. Ну что ты за человек?
это не я. Меня тут не было.
Капец просто.
Я вот здесь наверху был. Да и здесь меня тоже не было. Вот я нашел сундук. Вот здесь я был.
Неизвестный предмет для рук. Так, я там вижу еще 2 сундука.
А я вижу маску.
Манекены
Какие-то
для тренировки.
оккультисты. А, это манекен.
Манекены для тренировки.
Revelio.
Манекены для тренировок. Жители Фелдкрофта иногда используют их, чтобы попрактиковаться в изготовлении заклинаний, особенно в свете недавних нападений гоблинов. Там сундук.
Depulso. Levioso. Depulso.
Интересно, он приедет обратно?
Levioso.
Не уверен.
Depulso.
Давай, хватит дебоширить, забирай сундук и пошли дальше.
Glacius. Levioso. Depulso. Revelio.
Ну вот, теперь у них новое тренировочное место.
Так, пойдем в этот дом.
Пойдем.
Mine now. Aloha Mora.
Это 3-й был, да?
Нет, вроде 2-й.
2-й?
Revelio.
На
Отсюда
улице.
оружие.
Угу.
она? Я же здесь где-то видел Деми-маску.
Вот
вот
она.
она.
Надо страничку и сундук забрать. Колодец.
It's like Revelio.
Колодец, колодец.
Колодец в Фелдкрофте. Колодец в Фелдкрофте пересох около 400 лет назад во время сильной засухи. К сожалению, в результате этого многие жители деревни погибли, в том числе, по крайней мере, один маленький мальчик, чей отец отказывался говорить в течение многих лет после происшествия. Легенда гласит, что ситуацию удалось спасти, когда группа доброжелательных ведьм и волшебников использовала невиданную ранее мощную магию, чтобы вернуть воду в этот регион.
Так это вот эта деревня.
Это та самая деревня, да,
Revelio.
где они засуху, как можно сказать, излечили.
Ну, они в регионе полностью излечили.
Hello.
Да.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome. I'm Bernard Indiai, and this is my shop. Is there anything I can help you with?
Индиаи.
I'm curious to know what's happening in Feldkroft. Might you have any insight?
An incredibly unpleasant goblin called Belgroth the Bludgeoner has been tormenting everyone he encounters. Feldcroft borders goblin country, but we've always lived in peace with their kind. Until recently, that is. Some claim that Belgroth and his associates are in league with Ranrock. I don't know if there's truth to it. Whatever the case, their constant meddling is devastating business. Everyone feels unsafe. It's quite serious.
What brought you to own a shop in Feldkroft?
Beautiful place, isn't it? Although I admit I didn't choose it. It chose me. I was raised here. It's always been my home. As for the shop, I suppose my line of work chose me as well. I've always loved working with beasts. And my twin girls adore them. Wouldn't be surprised if they took over from me one day.
What do you sell here?
Glad you asked. I sell the finest array of beast byproducts you'll find in the entire countryside. If you don't believe me, feel free to look about. Eventually you'll return. They always do.
What do you have for sale?
What are we in the market for today?
Ну,
Что-то
что-то
у тебя вообще
как-то
ассортимент какой-то не особо.
маловато как-то.
A pleasure doing business with you.
Да,
Have
с
I
вами
mentioned
приятно
you're
иметь
welcome
дело.
to stop by any time?
А теперь пора на сюжет. Ура!
What are you up to now?
Мы пришли.
I suspect you are the one who has been interfering with a rather personal matter. The demiguise statues, and the moons contained therein, were placed as they were for good reason. You should not meddle in the personal affairs of others.
Что?
I don't think Mr. Pemberton meant to use his own stationery. He knows something about those demiguise moons. He's in Hogsmeade, apparently. Perhaps I shall pay him a visit.
Что-то
Он,
продали.
походу, их расставил сам.
Ладно. Потом.
Enjoying the view?
Keeping an eye on things. Feldcroft isn't what it used to be. No one has felt safe here since Ranrock's loyalists took a peculiar interest in that castle over there. Rookwood Castle. My uncle Solomon is a former Auror and refuses to look into it, even after Anne was cursed by one of them. Possibly with a wand, no less.
I heard a goblin refer to wizard kind as wand carriers. Are goblins forbidden from carrying wands?
Precisely. That's why I'm on the hunt for answers. If I'm to cure her, I need to understand what happened to her. Anne was always the most mischievous of the three of us. Which is saying something, knowing me and ominous. I'm hoping a surprise visit from me and a new friend from Hogwarts will help lift her spirits. Bring back the Anne I used to know. Come on. I'll take you to my uncle's.
Ну, пойдем.
This way.
Пойдем.
Я надеюсь, она не будет
Feldkroft
против
used to be a lot
ассасина.
livelier. With Ranrock's lot wandering about all the time, everyone stays out of sight. Here we are. My sister should be just inside.
Ходи.
Aha! Sebastian, where did you... Is that what I think it is?
We've been over this, boy.
Hey.
Shrivelfigs cannot reverse a curse. Nothing can. The sooner you accept that reality, the better.
Ну вот, перевел продукт.
But we haven't tried everything.
There is no cure! When will you accept that?
Never. I can never accept it.
Now look what you've done.
I'm sorry.
Leave.
I'm sorry you had to see that. If you don't mind, I just need a moment alone.
Poor Sebastian. Not the visit he'd hoped for.
That boy will fray my last nerve.
Excuse me, Mr. Sallow.
Oh, yes, Sebastian's friend. I apologize on behalf of my nephew. He doesn't know when to stop. He thinks he can help Anne, but nothing can be done for her.
It could be that you've not yet discovered the cure.
Ah, you sound like Sebastian, thinking you know better than the healers at St. Mungo's.
Perhaps the healers don't know everything, sir. Sebastian is single-mindedly focused on finding a way to help his sister. If there is a cure, he will find it.
Your faith in Sebastian is misplaced. Some sort of dark magic cursed Anne, and the goblins aren't likely to explain themselves anytime soon. Giving her hope is cruel. The only thing to do now is keep Anne comfortable and stay out of the Loyalists' way.
With all due respect, sir, hope could keep Anne's spirits up.
You may mean well, but I know what's best for Anne and Sebastian. They are my stubborn brother's children. Especially Sebastian. If you really want to be of help, you'll make sure Sebastian does what he should do, not what he wants to do. He's no idea the harm he could do if he doesn't stop. I hope you remember what I've said. Good day.
I'm sorry about earlier. Those bouts of pain are
Чем
difficult to
заболеешь
bear.
ты? Может, тебе парацетамол?
У нее
Are you
проклятие.
all right, Anne? I didn't mean to intrude.
You didn't, truly. And I'm all right. The pain from this curse comes in bouts, and often suddenly. It's not anyone's fault. It's nice to meet you, by the way. You must be the new 5th year Sebastian told me about.
I am. Sebastian and I met on my first day at Hogwarts, in the Slytherin common room.
Oh, the common room. I adored teasing first years about spotting mermaids through the window. I do miss Hogwarts, but I wouldn't mind being in Feldkroft really if it wasn't so dreary now. Between the goblins at the castle and my uncle fighting with Sebastian whenever he's home, it's not the cosy retreat it once was.
Sebastian mentioned something about your uncle being an ex-Auror, but refusing to go after Ranrock's loyalists. I must say, I wasn't prepared for him to be as angry as he was.
Uncle Solomon is frustrated by what happened to me, and by Sebastian for thinking he can fix it. They both mean well, I know they do, but my uncle is right. This curse cannot be undone. I can feel it. Sebastian cannot take away my pain. Perhaps you can help him to understand that.
I'm afraid
за
it's really up
Себастьяна.
to Sebastian, and his mind seems to be made up.
I can only hope he realizes the futility of his search for a cure soon. I'm getting tired. I should probably rest. Thank you for stopping by. I wish you well.
I ought to see how Sebastian's faring.
О! Письмо от Анны, адресованное Себастьяну. Себастьян, не трогай мой набор зельевара. Он не твой. Анна.
И все.
И все. Письмо от Себастьяна Анне. Дорогая Анна, без тебя Хогвартс совсем не тот. Впрочем, Шарп все такой же гадкий, но ты понимаешь, о чем я. Надеюсь, тебе лучше, Себастьян. Что у них письма друг другу слишком короткие.
СМС-ки присылают.
Угу.
Совой. Ну а шо?
Why will he not listen to me? She's my sister.
How are you doing, Sebastian?
You got a first-hand glance at what I'm dealing with. I apologize for my uncle.
I'll admit, I wasn't expecting him to be so angry.
He's always angry. He's been angry since my parents died. After Anne was hurt, he only grew worse. It's as though he blames me somehow, always calling me my father's son, as if that's an insult. I'm the one trying to help her. He's simply given up.
Both Anne and your uncle seem genuinely convinced that nothing more can be done for her.
I refuse to believe that. Anne's pain is more than physical. It has changed her entirely. I miss my sister. And I'm going to get her back. Come with me. I need to show you where it happened.
Начнем
Ranrock's
наше
loyalists are
расследование
capable of
детектива.
so much more than people realize. They should not be underestimated.
Его мы хватит крушиться, пойдем уже куда-нибудь.
All the debris you'll see is from whatever's going on at that abandoned estate. They've been digging for something.
Пойдем кого-то убивать, мочить.
Up there, on that plateau, is where they cursed Anne. This way.
How much longer are we expected to dig through this rubble? Ranrock knows what he's doing. It's an honor to be a part of it.
Glacius! Confringo! Defender!
Поднимите воздух двух одновременно, попадите в снайпера с использованием остолбеней.
You haven't had mushroom stew like
Levioso!
Over here! I will have my revenge! No!
No!
I will make you pay.
Ну давайте кто-нибудь вдвоем рядом.
Levioso!
I'm a goblin, not a...
Так, там снайпера, по-моему, нету.
Ranrock's loyalists will
Убили.
Да ладно! Почему не сработал?
Быстро тебя.
Да. Ну все, эти я уже не буду пытаться выполнять.
Ah, but if you don't fill up so much, you can actually go further. It's true. Eat a big meal, you'll be slowed down. Frank, is that the best you can do? Rather unwise coming back this way. When are you going to give up? What did you do now? Let's get this over with. There you are. An utterly pitiful despair.
Glacius!
I didn't quite get it.
Confringo! Defender!
Киксу.
Unfortunate disappointment.
Glacius! Confringo! Defender!
Huh? Who is it?
You've
Опа.
made your last mistake.
Привет, мы всех перебили, тут командир только
I was
остался.
right not to be worried about you.
Да, блин.
I won't rest.
Expelliarmus!
А, все?
How nice of you to stop by.
Нет.
Хороший указатель. Или что это, фонарный стол? Надежный, выдерживает дерево, камень. Покупайте.
Incendio. Levioso.
Что ты делаешь без своего оружия? Да что такое-то? Я же... Ай, ну почему ты не можешь стрелять в того, в кого мне надо?
I confess, that was a bit more than I'd bargained for. I tried to warn you.
Revelio.
Что?
Those loyalists deserved what they got.
Couldn't agree more. This is where it happened. We smelled smoke in the middle of the night. When we looked outside, flames were shooting from the estate. Before my uncle and I could stop her, Anne rushed out, racing towards the fire, worried someone had been hurt. She came face to face with a horde of goblins, frantically trying to stamp out the flames. Suddenly, an icy voice drifted out from somewhere in the smoke. Children should be seen and not heard. A blinding blast followed. They didn't even give her a chance to run.
Мы такие с улыбкой. Да, да, да.
It seems an awfully violent response to a child wandering by. What were they trying to hide?
My thoughts exactly. It may be grasping at Billywigs, but I keep thinking that there might be something here that could lead me to whoever cursed Anne. Might be the only way to learn what type of magic harmed her, which could help me find a cure.
Perhaps you're right. The loyalists are everywhere, but they do seem to be spending a lot of time here, and it's likely they're hiding something.
And at Rookwood Castle. Shall we have a look around?
Давай осмотрим.
They seem to have set up camp here for a specific reason.
Найти
They have stations
подсказки.
for everything. I've heard that goblin dig sites like these are popping up everywhere.
It's a wonder the Ministry isn't doing more.
Красиво, красиво. Ты не можешь здесь летать. Сейчас скажет, вернитесь в область.
Дайте мне гиппогрифа. Я вернусь к вам. Ё-моё.
Если береза отпустит.
Revelio. Whose home was this?
Been abandoned long since I've lived here. Rumor was a Hogwarts professor lived here once, centuries ago. But that's all I ever heard. It might be worth.
О.
Колодец.
This well looks familiar. Sebastian, I've seen this before. This house, the well, the view.
What do you mean? When?
Give me a moment. I'll explain in a second. Revelio.
Он что-то вспомнил?
Ну так это же та же деревня.
Понятно. Он на это намекнул.
Sebastian, over here. Do you think that this was damaged by the fire the night that Anne was cursed?
Could be. But it looks to me as though this was intentional.
Sebastian, this house did belong to a Hogwarts professor hundreds of years ago.
Who? What do you...
I found a pensive that day in the restricted section with a memory that showed this house. There was a little girl and a drought. The keepers have shown me other memories as well. The girl became a Hogwarts professor. Her name was Isadora Morganach. She was one of the keepers.
The keepers? Like in Quidditch? And you found a pensive in the library? I'm not following you.
I realize it's a lot to take in. I'm not even sure I understand it all yet. And no, not like Quidditch. They call themselves keepers because they're protecting some type of knowledge. It has to do with the vault at Gringotts.
Let me see if I've got this straight. You have Ranrock and Rookwood after you because of something you found at Gringotts where you ended up via a port key. You can see traces of an ancient magic that you think Ranrock is trying to harness. And now you've been witnessing memories left by keepers. Oh, and this house belonged to a Hogwarts professor who was one of these non-Quidditch keepers hundreds of years ago. If I didn't know you, I'd think you were pulling my leg.
It is all a bit much, isn't it, when you put it like that? The point is, we both have good reason to search this house. You for answers about what happened to Anne, and me for answers about the keepers.
Look at this.
Revelio.
Так,
Someone
давай.
piled this here for a reason. Is it blocking something?
Only one way to find out. Why bother blocking a stairwell?
There might be something here worth a closer look.
Опа, он
They've
же
left all of
здесь.
this simply strewn about.
Быстро.
Tells me they're after something bigger.
Lumos. Revelio.
Одна из 7, серьезно? Аккуратно.
Да начнется чтение.
Lumos.
Я уже вторую неделю в лагере. Каждый день привозят все новых больных. Врачи-маглы и даже наши целители стараются сделать для них все возможное. Скорбь почти осязаема. Те, кто оправился от чумы, никогда не оправятся от боли утраты. Лихорадка пройдет, кожа заживет, но печаль останется в сердце навечно. Я видела мужчину, который, как и мой отец, потерял ребенка. Это невыносимо. Мне хотелось хоть немного облегчить его страдания. Я начинаю думать, что остальные неправы. Я способна помочь этим несчастным. На мой взгляд, оставить их страдать не менее жестоко, чем избавить от мук.
A journal entry of Isadora's. I should hold on to this.
Я приехала сюда со знаниями, а теперь меня переполняет желание помочь. Сомнения терзают душу. Такое чувство, словно моя магия жаждет исцелять, а я не позволяю ей. Неужто надежды нет? Неужто угрызения совести будут терзать меня всю оставшуюся жизнь? Как смотреть этим людям в глаза и притом знать, что я могла бы облегчить их страдания? Сегодня снова видела мужчину, напоминавшего мне отца. Он покинул лагерь. Разве плохо было бы помочь ему? По-моему, это позволило бы не только применить мое особое умение для благого дела, но и узнать много нового.
Seems these journal entries are from Isadora's travels. Revelio.
Ну и что, куда дальше? Ага.
Туда, наверное.
Revelio.
Разнесемся здесь все.
Все
You're
разнесем.
not going to believe this. I can see the Undercroft.
What? A daydream? Because that happens to me too.
Поговорите с Себастьяном.
Lumos.
Давай поговорим.
I know it sounds strange, but...
Honestly, nothing you say sounds strange to me anymore.
Fair enough. I can see the Undercroft through this stone wall, as though it's a window. This has happened before.
I'm listening.
I think it's to do with my ability to see traces of ancient magic.
But you said you didn't really understand it, and that you couldn't wield it.
That's true, and I'm still not sure what it all means. What I do know is that my ability allows me to travel through these windows I see.
Wait. We can get straight to the Undercroft from here. Ominous will be flawed.
We can. But perhaps best not to tell anyone else about this for now. Even ominous.
Understood. Well then, invisible, secret, ancient magic passageway? Here we come. I'm tempted to hold my breath.
Крипта.
Крипта.
Why would the door lead us here?
О, там ключ нарисован.
Sebastian, look. Why hide a triptych here?
Seems as if something's missing.
A note. Let's have a look.
Пока ничего не понятно.
Очень интересно, но ничего не понятно. Да.
Anything helpful in the note?
Revelio.
Покажите записку Себастьяну.
A rune symbol. I've seen similar symbols used by the keepers.
I've been thinking. A keeper lived in that house centuries ago, and Ranrock and his lot have been searching there. You said that goblins may be wielding some form of this ancient magic. Do you think Anne was cursed by ancient magic?
I can't be sure, of course, but I don't think so. I didn't see any traces of it around your sister.
Very well. But that doesn't mean it's not ancient magic. There's still so much we don't know about it.
True. Perhaps this triptych will lead us to answers.
Then we'll have to unravel what this all means. But now I need to see Ominous. Don't worry, I won't tell him anything. Did I mention that, apparently, Salazar Slytherin had a secret scriptorium here, in Hogwarts?
You did not? Is it connected to our common room?
No idea. Ominous just learned of it. I'll let you know what I find out. I had no idea our visit to Cian would unfold into all of this. My head's an utter mess. But I'm glad you told me everything you did. I'll be in touch. Till then.
Revelio.
Кто-то вскрыл сундук.
Это мы.
А, это
Вот
мы.
здесь ключ нарисован.
Да. Все получается.
Meet me near the ruins of Falbutton Castle. After dark. Do not tell anyone.
О май, это что, свидание?
Не знаю, еще что-нибудь будет? Кто-нибудь еще что-нибудь прислал?
Нет, вроде.
Совиная почта. Ё-моё.
Астрономия.
Вингардиум Левиоса.
Она, видать, нас научит вот астрономическим загадкам.
Понятно. Так, ну давай сюда сгоняем. Фоксмит. И сюда. Посмотрим, что с этими деми-масками не так.
Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
Those statues took time and effort.
Pardon me, sir, but about those curious demiguise statues I've seen.
What? Who are you? Why do you ask?
They're quite clever.
Oh, thank you. A lot of craftsmanship and care went into them. I assume.
So you did create them?
Yes, I did. It was a ploy to give that pathetic oaf Moon a taste of the grief he caused me years ago. You are the one who's been pilfering them.
I am, at the request of Mr. Moon. I received your owl on your stationery.
Ah, well, fitting Moon would enlist a student. Too cowardly to do it himself.
Да нам ваши статуэтки вообще не нужны. Нам
Even
только
when we were
взлом
at
нужен был.
school, he was a cowardly bully. Gave me a horrible nickname, which I shan't repeat. I was thrilled when we left school and he seemed gone for good. Then I started seeing him around Hogsmeade. It was too much. Even if I do take satisfaction in that his life's destiny was to be a lowly caretaker.
Mr. Moon does a good deal for the school, and he's taught me a lot. He's terrified of those statues.
I know. You should have seen his face when that boggart appeared. Oh, priceless. That's when I knew what I needed to do. I simply didn't want to encounter him anymore. So, I shrewdly put a boggart in his path to learn his greatest fear. I then created the demiguise statues to keep him in his place, so to speak. The moons were an inspired play on his name. It worked brilliantly. Until you started clearing them out.
The statues are a form of bullying. You're no better than him. Perhaps it's time you both moved on.
Fair point, I suppose. If they've terrified him, as you say, he may have learned his lesson.
Их действительно кто-то расставил.
Какие-то два дурачка.
Отношения.
Ага.
Чё спорите, а? О. Возьмите
Возьмите
печеньку.
печеньку.
Чуть позже придем за печенькой. Так, не то. Карта Хогвартса.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
Чё спорите?
Anything to do with the dark
Что
art should be
такое?
avoided. It's too risky.
Anything to do with Salazar Slytherin is worth the risk.
I can't agree. And I'll not say a word more. I'm sorry.
I won't give up.
What were you and Ominous speaking about?
He's being ridiculous. Apparently, Salazar Slytherin had a secret scriptorium here in Hogwarts. Ominous swears it was used for the dark arts, so he wants nothing to do with it. I reminded him that Anne needs a cure. This scriptorium could hold the answers we need.
Тебя интересует темное искусство?
The dark arts do pique my interest.
There's more to dark magic than people realize. The Gaunts know this. Better than most. Perhaps I've spoken out of turn. Ominous's family history is personal to him.
I'd like to know more about it if you wouldn't mind telling me. I won't repeat it.
Very well. But do keep this between us. Ominous learned dark magic from his parents. Are you familiar with the Cruciatus Curse?
Не
What
знаю.
does the Cruciatus Curse do?
It's known as the Torture Curse. Crucio. It inflicts intense, excruciating pain on the victim. Apparently, his parents and older siblings had no qualms about casting it on muggles for sport. Ominous described the sound of the victim's cries as horrific, so the first time he was asked to cast it himself as a child, he couldn't bring himself to do it. As punishment, his family cast it on him. The anguish was so bad that when asked to cast it again, he relented. I have repeatedly assured Ominous that he did what he had to, but he still hasn't forgiven himself.
How horrible. Poor Ominous. He was only a child. He shouldn't blame himself.
After that incident, the rift between Ominous and his family only grew. That is until I came along. Every moment he isn't at Hogwarts, he's with us in Feldkroft. Ominous trusts me. And more often than not, he winds up listening to me. I'll remind him of that when I follow up about the scriptorium. Watch for my owl. I'll have news soon enough.
Окей.
I'll make Ominous understand. He'll change his mind.
Будем изучать эти заклинания.
Простительно, и походу он нас будет обучать это. Ну, если он его уговорит.
Ага.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Ой,
Тыковки.
мышки. Летучие мышки. А где Бэтмен?
Нету.
Я Бэтмен.
Ты не похож на Бэтмена. Ты похож на ассасина.